Hey, I'm so glad you stopped by. You caught my first video. On this channel, I'm going to be revealing how I know God is real, and that is the sole purpose for this channel. So many people in this generation don't believe that God is real. But through the many decades of healings and miracles and things the Lord's told me with an audible voice, I'm a witness. God is real. I'm sure some of you have testimonies. Feel free to write them in the comments. Tell how you know Jesus is real. Help me, help others. In this video, I'm going to start from the beginning. I had my first vision when I was 6 years old. Let me tell you about it. I got up every morning, and I went to the window, and I looked out to see what kind of day we were having. Was it raining? Was it foggy? Was it sunny? What was going on outside? And so this morning I went out and I looked up into the clouds and I saw two men up in the clouds. And one had on a blue robe with black hair and the other one had on a red robe with red hair. As a 6-year-old child, they looked like the apostles to me. I don't know who they were, but they were sitting up on a cloud on a bench talking. And I was so excited that I reached over to wake my sister up, and she was too tired. She didn't want to wake up. So I took off to the door to go tell my mother. And when I got to the door, I slammed on my brakes because I thought they'd be gone when I got back. So I turned around and ran back to the window to look out, and they were still there. And so I propped up on the window, and I looked out the window, and I watched the men. And I said, I'm not leaving until they leave. I want to see how they go. Do they disappear? Do they walk off or fly off? I didn't know. I want to see how they go and where they go. And so I sat up there to watch them. And in a minute, a big old cloud formed off to the side. A huge cloud like a mountain. And in the cloud, it looked like a castle. The doors looked like a castle door. And the door opened up, and I thought it was Jesus. I said, Jesus! It was a huge, tall man. But then I noticed up over him there were some wings that went way up. There were pointed wings. So I said, that's not Jesus. He has wings. That's an angel. I said, wow. So I started looking at the angel from top to bottom, and I noticed his hair went to his shoulders, and I noticed his beard just went right to his chest, and then I looked all the way down to his feet, and the robe covered his feet, and he was in the clouds. So I didn't get to see what his feet looked out like, but he never did say anything. He walked to the edge of the cloud and waved at those two men to come, and the men came, followed him. He turned and went back into the cloud and went into the door, and the men followed behind him, and the door shut and the clouds covered over him. And I started running to go tell my mother, and I said, no, I got to wait and see how the clouds leave, because what if they came back? So I waited a minute and watched, and the clouds just started dissipating and coming down from that big mountain, just crumbling down, and they had just leveled out. And I looked across the sky, and it was all level. Everywhere I looked, the clouds, and you couldn't even tell that the clouds were ever there. So I couldn't show my mom because you could never tell that the mountain of clouds was there. So I ran to go tell my mom. And when I told her, I said, Mom, I went out and looked out the window this morning and I saw angel in the clouds. And she said, you did? And I don't think she much believed what I said, so I just walked off, and I never really told anybody what happened. But I kept that and pondered it my whole life. I'd think on it, but I didn't tell anybody else. I didn't tell my brothers or sisters, anybody, because I didn't think they'd believe me. But Mom never asked me about it again, so I just didn't think she'd believe me. But anyway, I started talking to Jesus everywhere I went. I took him with me. And at night, I'd make a place beside me in my bed. That made a believer out of me. I hope this inspires you to seek Jesus until you find him with your whole heart. But please write your prayer request in the comments so we can all pray together for each other. I know Jesus is real, and he still answers prayer. So have faith in Jesus. Trust him today. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So start building your faith today in the word. And until next time, God bless you, and God is real.